Alright, so today we're doing programming talk by me. It's like intro programming, but first,
This
we
is
have,
Scott.
yeah, I'm Scott. We have some words.
So I know we said that the game jam was going to be this weekend, but it turns out we forgot that there's a home football game this weekend, and so the ComArts building will be locked. We tried to get it opened, they wouldn't let us. So we had to push it back. So now it's going to be next weekend, so not this weekend, but the following. Same times and everything. So it's going to start at 5 on Friday the 9th, and it'll go until 6 p.m. on the 11th, which is Sunday. So again, that's 48 hour. You make a game, start from scratch. We put you on teams. A bunch of us will be there, like giving you advice. So there's going to be lots of people who know what they're doing to help you guys who haven't really made any games yet. So yeah, hope you guys can make it. It's always a really fun time.
Oh yeah, just another thing to say about game jams is it is over a 48-hour time span, but you can go home.
Yes,
You're
yes.
definitely not locked in the building.
We do encourage you to go home.
Yeah.
You
take
don't
showers,
necessarily
eat
have to,
food.
but please do take showers.
Yeah, you do have to take
Yeah.
showers.
You
Yeah,
do have to take
that
showers.
part's mandatory.
Showers
That
are
is
mandatory.
You have to take showers.
Showers are mandatory. Sleeping is not.
I suppose you can take baths if that's what you do.
Yeah,
Sure.
you're welcome to stay overnight in the building, just crunching on your game too. So
Yeah.
do whatever you want. But do you guys have any questions on the game jam right now while we're talking about it? We are very sorry for rescheduling. That's totally our fault. Because I know
Yeah.
it was a surprise to us. So
Yeah. And even if you can't make it the whole time, even if you want to come for a couple of the days, that's still welcome. You can still come and learn something.
I would say the first night's usually the best because that's when we have all our intro stuff.
Yeah. We will have a quick tutorial to get everyone kick started on Friday, and then everyone's just gonna go from there. All right.
Cool.
Now for programming.
Alright, so a really quick thing before we start. What you do, when you write code, you write in languages. So here, Unity has two choices, the JavaScript, C#. They used to have Boo, but that's gone, hopefully. MSU, we really only use C#. Very rarely people use JavaScript. Reason because C# is significantly faster. And JavaScript has a lot of problems, right, Louis?
You know what?
And they also don't work.
I find JavaScript a lot more accessible than C#. Thank you.
Alright, well, JavaScript is for, if you look at the bottom, JavaScript is for web browsers. That's it. Don't use it for anything else. That's a biased thing, though. And then JavaScript and Java are two different things. That's a lot of people mix that up. So I'm just going to point that out now. And then JavaScript and C# and Unity don't work well together. I'm kind of just going to jump quick into a demo now without explaining much. But also, it takes a long time to code, so you're not going to get everything today. That's why I put that quote there. Alright, so I open up a blank Unity project, and I'm just going to start dropping stuff in here. But we're going to make a little character cube dude, which is going to be named Buddy Cube, as always. Yeah.
Buddy Cube forever.
And then just throw a plane down. It's my floor. That's way too high. Actually, let's make this. Let's do it. Kind of your mouse is weird.
Yeah, it is really weird.
It jumps. So sorry about that. I'm just gonna add a rigid body. Should we go over these?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna add that physics. Oh, sorry, I wasn't there for that talk. Scale this up just for funds. Camera and a spot. Makes a little bit more sense. Alright, and then we're gonna make our first script, hopefully. So if you do right click on project, create, and then we're gonna create a C# script. And then you want to name it whatever you want. It's gonna name it player, because this is what's going on the player. And then you double click on that. And then MonoDevelop will open. There. Yay. Alright. Alright, it just bugs me. So we got a few things in here. We have these right here is like our player class thing. Probably not gonna go over classes at all. Then we have these two functions. We have start and we have update. Ignore the voids, and that is just needed. But start is run on the very first frame, so I mean that's what you put like a lot of your setup stuff, and then update is run in every single frame. There's also you can also use awake, which is run right before start, and that's when like the object's created. But don't really need that one right now, so we can just delete it. And we're gonna make this player move a little bit. So, I'm gonna do these if statements. So it's basically if this is true, then execute whatever in these brackets down here. So inside, I like to make everything like blank first. I don't know why, force of habit for me. But so inside the if statement, we're gonna write input that get key key code. Oh, I'm using tab also to auto finish. So sorry about that. That might make me go a little fast. And then W. So does anyone know what this does? Yeah. Go.
Essentially, when you type W on your keyboard, you're telling the computer that you're putting an input, and it's the key code W.
Yeah. All right. So then that will return true, so which will trigger this if statement, which will run this code down here. And then we're just gonna test to make sure this works. So if you do debug.log and then do your quotation mark, then you can just type in whatever. And then the semicolon has to go at the end of like basically every. Oh yeah, that's it.
It might be Command Plus.
There we go. Better. All right, sorry about that. And then yeah, so you want to do a semicolon basically at the end of like every single line almost, except for like statements like if statements, or function declares. But anyways, so now we're gonna go in here, and if we hit play, it's not gonna work. There's no W pressed on here. And that's because you gotta drag the script onto the cube, and then it'll show them right down here. It's the script. And Connor just scrolls backwards. And if you hit play now, I hit W. Still doesn't work. Cool.
Save it, Scott.
I did save it.
Save us, Scott.
It's at the end.
Wait, oh yeah.
You haven't.
I didn't save it. It's
How do you know
W.
if it's been
All
saved?
right.
There's a little the little X on the tab there that will, at least in mono develop, that'll turn into, you see that just changes a little
This.
circle, and then once you save, it changes back to an X.
All right. Well, always make sure you save. That happens a lot to me actually. Sorry. And now it'll work. Still doesn't work. Mac, you lied to me. I don't know why that's not working now. What?
That's welcome to scripting.
Yeah, welcome. Oh God, don't put that there. Well, now I just want to make sure this is getting called in general. So we can just put debug.log and just be like frame. Saved. There we go. Well, that's working now. And I'm just gonna drag this down out of its way. Oh God! All right, stop playing it so it doesn't. There we go. All right. Now back to the script. So I know that function's being called now. Still have no clue why that's not being called.
Scott,
Yeah.
sorry, I got here a little late. How do you get to the mono developer?
Oh, if you if you go to one of your scripts and double click on it, that will open it up.
And to make a script, you go to create
Oh,
and then
yes.
C# script.
If you don't have one. right click on project, like end up somewhere empty-ish, and then create C#, and then name it. We don't. Still have no clue why it's not working. So it's really weird.
Save it.
It is saved. But welcome to coding. You'll get this a lot. I don't know why. It's been a while since I've done anything like this too. So I don't know if they changed. There we go. That works. Don't question it. Putting back Git key down for some reason works.
Scott, what's the difference between get
So
key and get key
yes, Git key down means like every single time you press the button, it gets called or gets turned true. Git key just does it every time the button is at least pressed down. So like if you do this, you can't hold it and have that line continuously run. But if you have git key, it should continuously run. Should, emphasis on that part. And then you gotta stop playing and play again for it to compile, or else your changes won't. Alright, now it works. Okay, I'm not gonna go into why that works now. This is live scripting. Your professors will do this and they'll get the same errors, trust me. So now we want to move the player. So I added that rigid body onto the player called buddy cube. And then we can actually use this to apply force to it and cause it to move. So we can do that. I'm not sure if this is, oh, nope, it's still not there. So we have to do a get component, and then you do bracket rigid body and that, and then you can add the force to it. I think you can just, yeah, we can. All right, and then we're gonna want this to move forward. So forward is like the z-axis typically. So we can just write 0 float, and then so like 1 float for now. Then we can go back there, and yeah, there we go. Also, if you get any compile errors, they'll show up down here. So if I forgot something like the semicolon at the end of this statement, and I came back here, you'll get these little errors. And luckily, you can just double click on them, and they'll kind of give you a reference of where the thing went wrong, and they'll sometimes actually like tell you what to do. Ah, crap. Connor, hit your mouse. Keeps jumping.
Try getting rid of the mouse pad.
Yeah,
Probably
stop
that.
mine from opening.
It's too late.
Mine's gonna open.
Alright, well that works better. Alright. Somewhat. It still jumps. So it kind of told us what to do. Sometimes it'll say, hey, you're missing the semicolon, add that in. It just said like that this bracket was unexpected. That's because it was waiting for that semicolon. So now when we go back, we'll compile, hit play, and it'll move forward, but not really, because one force doesn't do much to them. But if you do like 1,000, it still probably won't be enough, but it's been a while since I've done this. There we go. Yeah, that was plenty. So now he's just off into the distance.
Falling forever.
Yeah, I mean you can see I'm going off. Something else that you might want to do, since we don't really want him to rotate, so you can go into constants, and we can do stuff like freeze his Y so he doesn't fall up and down. We can also freeze his rotations. So we'll just freeze them all. So now if he actually goes off, he won't spiral off. He'll just go forward forever. So now going into here and like editing this every single time gets really annoying. So what we can do, especially if you're like a designer, they don't want to open code ever. So what we can do is we can make a little variable that they can edit inside Unity to basically just edit your script right there. So you want to declare as public. This is going to be float, so that means just like a decimal point. And then you're going to want to name this. So we can name this speed. And then you can set like a default to it. We'll set it to 100, and then don't forget your semicolon. And then go down here, and then you replace the 1,000 with speed. Yay. And you save it. The reason you want to mark it public is then it'll show up in the inspector. If it's private, it won't be there. So if you don't want them editing it, let's make it private. It's always fun to do that. And then that's the cut files. There we go. Now we can edit the speed. So now we can go into here and say 100. And you're like, whoa, that's too fast. And we can like live update it and say like 20. He's already off because he has no friction. Well, yeah, once again, we unplay it. Go down to 20. Now he'll move a lot slower when you do it. Until he's no longer on this collider. So we can actually turn back the y-axis because it's nicer. And scale this bigger. Alright, so now we want to do it so he doesn't just go forward, because typically don't just go forward in a game. So now what we can do is we can do another if statement. This time, we're going to want to do other keys. So we'll do the S key because that will go backwards. And then same thing, you gotta do your brackets and get component. Or you could literally just copy and paste. Add force 0. And then since we want them to go backwards this time, we want to do a negative force, so we can just do negative speed. And it will typically find it for you, and sometimes it doesn't. That's mono-developed for you. So yeah, it's basically the same line, just a negative there. And now, go back in, play compile, play, you can go forward. And then now we can hit the S key and go back. Whee. Magic. And if you press them at the same time, you're not going to go anywhere. But now I'm just going to copy this because I'm lazy. And we're going to want to do it for other axes. So we want the A. We want the D. And now we're going to set the x-axis. I don't remember how Unity does theirs. There we go. Alright, so positive x is on the right hand side. So we can actually do speed positive. And now we'll just do the opposite for D, speed negative. Or negative speed. Alright, and then go back to Unity, edit file, hit play. Now we can move along all three. That's backwards order. So, alright, I guessed that one wrong. My bad. Flip the negatives here. So this one should be negative and this one should be positive. Go back, play compile. Now goes the right ways. Obviously, going diagonals faster, but that's a problem for another day. So now our game's pretty bland. That's really all he can do right now. Could add jump. Could also add an enemy, which we'll do. And we'll just add a new object. Make it capsule. And this is called programmer art, by the way. We can also add materials. Green. And like, womp, womp. Now we got grass. And then do like yellow.
Make it pastel.
I don't know what pastels. This is like an ugly yellow, and that's gonna be our player. And now Great. Blue. Yeah, I'm just gonna cheat on blue, and I'm just gonna make it really reflective. Boom. There we go. Interesting. So now got our enemy. We're gonna want to add another rigid body to him, just like the other guy. We're gonna want to definitely freeze his rotations, or else he'll just flop around like a bean. So you can see that. Hit play, and if we nudge him, not very intimidating if he does that. So we're gonna want to freeze his rotations. Oops, sorry, save it. And then, I mean, yeah, we can save the scene. So now we're gonna create another script for the AI. C#, and we're gonna be like enemy. And we'll just drag the script. You can also drag it like right for the scene. Don't know if we went over that. And then there it is. You can also, you can also double click on it here to open it and edit it. Just makes it way faster than trying to find it, especially when you have folders, because this should all be in folders. But you can also still tab it through here. So we're not going to need to start for this one. And just force of habit for me. And then, so we're going to want to know a few things. We're going to want to know where the player is. So one way we can do that is just do public. We'll just do game object. And we can just do something like player. And then inside Unity, that compile. It's always good to test your line or your code like almost line by line. It's better not to like code for like 3 hours and then go see if it works in Unity. It won't. I can guarantee you that. Then we want to drag the right object on here. So we can just simply drag buddy cube. Now he knows who the player is. Which makes it a lot easier in here. Because now we can just do, I'm pretty sure we can just do transform that. Can't remember them. But, great way to teach you this. Another great tool is Unity scripting or Stack Overflow. No, use Unity scripting reference first, please. You can actually choose, like if you're in JavaScript or C#. So if you ever want to translate something.
Could I just
yeah.
help out? You could also like click on anything you need on the script.
Yeah.
And use command, comma, or no, command, comma on top, that little thing on top, and it'll like directly take you to that.
Yeah, can't remember how to do it. There's another way. There's a few ways. I don't remember all of them. There's also inside Unity, I think you can hit like the little help books. So like I want to do something with the transform, so I can just, theoretically you can just click on that and it opens up. Yeah, get ready for a lot of tabs. So now it's in the engine. Oh god, this is a lot. So they have searching. So I wanted to do something with transform. Because transform is like the actual object in space and where its position is. So we got a lot of stuff. But luckily, first one is the one that we need, typically. And now you can actually see like all the variables that comes with it. Public functions that you can call. So like another, like you can rotate them. You can translate is the other one a lot of people use. Translate is basically just moving it by some amount, but this you have to actually like normalize with time. You should also do it for the other one, but whatever. Rotate, you just rotate it. And then they have like little examples of how they use it, which is really useful. But there should be some way to just like follow the player. Sure might not be. It's been a while. But that's why they have Stack Overflow, and you can find everything on Stack Overflow. So you can really just type in Unity follow object, and like 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,001 times, you'll find some person's script that you can typically just copy and paste. That's a little bit more advanced.
JavaScript.
What?
JavaScript.
That's also JavaScript. Yeah, that's what you want to be careful of on Stack Overflow. Is you never know what scripting language you're gonna get. So here, this is JavaScript. If you try to like drop this in the C#, you're gonna get a lot of errors. And it's gonna be confusing now. Boom! Look at all of this. You got a lot of errors. You have 12 errors. Don't want to deal with that. So be careful about copying and pasting code also. So yeah, they did transform, but you can like always work out their code. So lerping is like a linear moving across the like 2 points. It's kind of simple that way. There used to be just like a transform that. Yeah, you could also do that. I'm doing that. So one thing you can do is transform.lookAt, and then just look at player. And since it's kind of hard to know. What? Thank you. Yeah. You'll want to write that because it can't do it with the game object. Sorry, it's been a while since I've done anything with transforms. And then create, just because it's kind of hard to see which direction he's facing. I'm gonna put a cube, like a little sphere thing, or a sword, whatever your programmer imagination is, really. You can just make. Nah, we don't need to. All right, and then this sword. Drop it on capsule, which I should have named enemy. And you can just reset. Let's transform. Ah, crap. Didn't want to do that. Reset its position. It's already messed with its scale. And you can move it across. It's actually facing the wrong way. Across the Z, because Z is forward. And that's, oh god. Alright, there we go. So now, it's all good, right? Yeah. Alright, so now when we hit play, he's always staring, oh god. Well, if you didn't control like an ice rink, he's always staring at the player. And my other keys aren't working for some reason. No, that's why. Sorry. I have bad hand placement. Now he's always staring at the player here. Zoom in on him. So yeah, now when you move around, he's always looking at you. So now we can just simply tell him to go forward because he's always looking at the same direction. You obviously want to do it after he's looking at you. So now we can just do transform. Really just, yeah. Wrong transform. Make sure it's a lowercase. Don't hit caps lock. Transform that. Translate. Actually, let's just use rigid body. We did a rigid body. Now let's just transform. I'm really indecisive. And then you can do this translate function. I haven't showed it to you yet. And now something that's really simple to do. You can just do vector3 dot forward. That should move him forward relative to himself. Local. That makes sense. So now he should always be, yeah, oh god. A little fast. That's because I didn't, that was doing it by frame rate. So that's why you need this time dot delta time. Delta time is the time between this frame and the last frame. You want that so it's not frame rate dependent. It's bad to make your game frame rate dependent. So now he's much slower, which is a lot easier to deal with. Another thing is I can just drop the camera, buddy cube. There we go. Now when we move buddy cube around, we'll move the camera. There we go. So yeah, now he's always moving slightly towards me. Yeah. So I still have time left, so I can actually do more things. We can do health. So I'm going to create a new script and health. That's where this is going to go onto the player. And we're going to open it up. And so what we're going to want to do, we're going to need a public, int is just short for integer. Hopefully you know what an integer is. It's been a while, but you learn it in like middle school. And this is basically like your health. Oops. One thing you can't do, I'll show you here, is you can't have like anything that's like a variable or function name cannot be the same name as the class itself. This will cause errors. Boom. And hit that. Number names cannot be the same as their enclosed type. See, it tells you right there. And you double click on it, it's like highlights red for me. So you can just get away with it by like lowercasing it, or adding an underscore, or doing like an underscore. There's a lot of ways. And you can also set presets. I don't know if, oh yeah, I did do that. So you can set it as 3. This time you don't need the F there because it's an integer, not decimal point. So now we can go back into here, click on our buddy cube. You can see that he has 3 health. We can, then the designer can like give him a ton of health, or give him like 1 health, whatever. However you want to design your game, it's up to you. So now we need to make it so if the enemy touches said player, he loses health. So one way we can do that is we can do this void. We're gonna make a new function. Yay! So this is another like function that Unity calls. This one is called on collision. Enter. What? Spell it wrong. I'm gonna take this no then. And then it takes in collision, and then you can name it whatever you want. I name it other. So if you name it col, you'll see it a lot of ways. So this gets called every time the two objects hit each other. But that's only when they hit each other. There's also one that has stay in it. That's called like every single time they're like inside each other. Don't try to ever do that. And then there's exit, which is when the two objects are no longer colliding with each other. But we want to enter. So we want to when these two collide with each other. Then you typically want to tag or layer these things. So we're going to have the enemy be tagged as bad dude. Boom. That. I think that stayed. Alright. Then we can go back to enemy, tag them, bad dude. And then we go back to our script. Then we can do another if statement. And then we do other dot. Can't do tag right away, so we can go to the transform. There's like another ways. I think you can go like the collider. There's other ways, but you can go to transform dot tag, and then we want to make sure you want to type this exactly the same way as you did inside Unity. So don't forget. That's why I don't really like tags, is because it's a constant. So if you did any spelling errors here, then this if statement would never be called, and then your code would never work, and then you'll be wondering why it's not working. It's miserable. And then we can just do health minus minus. This is the same way as saying health equals health minus 1, or the same way as saying health equals minus equals 1. But or we can just do this because you'll most likely understand that. So that means we're just taking 1 from the health and then resetting health back to that lowered one. So now if we go into Unity again, compile, because we don't have any event thing, we're just going to want to watch this. And so we hit play, and then now the guy's getting closer to us. Oh, and now hit us. Boom, now we have 2 health. And oh god, he hit us more times, so we got down to 0 health. You can add time delays and stuff like that later on. So you can add stuff then at the end where like UI pops up and your health equals 0. So like, or you can do like another if statement embedded in this if statement. So then you can be like if health, and then you want to do double equals here. If you do 1 equals, it will get mad at you. Sometimes it'll do a compiler, sometimes it won't, which is the worst. So make sure you just do double equals. That means you're comparing 2 things. And then we can just be really bad here, and we'll just destroy this game object. So now when we get down to 0 health, we'll die. Like, goodbye, die. So he's like, oh no, he's coming for us. And going down 1 health. Boom, we're dead. And we're going to get a lot of null references, but ignore that. Null references.
The camera.
What?
You killed the camera.
Oh yeah, I killed everything. Don't try not to. What else should I cover? Anything? Connor? Am I missing anything? No.
If you guys didn't quite follow along, if you missed a step, we will be uploading the video just like we always do. So we'll have us talking over it and split screen, so you can go back and watch it later. Yeah.
So Scott, what is? I don't actually understand the line get component. What's that doing?
All right. Where did I use it? Use it here. All right. So get component means like components are like other scripts on there. So rigid body is another script on that object. So it's right here. If this wasn't here, if I removed it and then I hit play, we're gonna get a lot of null references because it's trying to get something it doesn't have access to. Also, null references crash your game, so don't do that. So that means hopefully, all right, it's there. It's back on. Clear that. So this is basically accessing that component, like it's grabbing it off the same object. It can only be called like where it's being called on this object. You can also do it like if you have another object, you can be getting it. But you can also do like other things, like you can do, since we have like get component health, because we wrote that, and then we could say like dot health, and then we can add 1 to our health. So now every time we move forward, we get health. Yeah, so now we got like 3 health. And then like, look at that. We're getting so much health now. Game so good. Such skills. Does that explain it or no?
Also, you don't have to do get component in update either. You can do it once. And
Oh yeah, you shouldn't do it in
Do
update.
not do it in update.
You can do it, shouldn't. So you can do it in awake or start. I have better odds at spelling start than awake. Programming doesn't take spelling skills, surprisingly. So don't worry about that. And then what we can do is set like, we can also make this public and just have the designer do it, but they'll hate you if you do this. So it's best to just have a private, which means it won't be in the inspector. No one can edit it except for this script. Then we'll just call it rigid body as its class, and then we can just call it ridge. And then in awake, we can just go ridge. GIF. Get out of here. Ridge equals get component rigid body. You just need those because it's a function technically. And now we can go through. We can replace all these get components with just ridge. And it's way cheaper to do this. Fridge. Oh god, not grid. Fridge. Now when we go back to Unity. Yeah, everything should still work. Emphasis on should, but it still works. It's really hard to see because it's a huge, oh god. It works. I just keep forgetting that I'm not supposed to, I'm not used to this keyboard.
You could have killed the enemy.
Well,
We'll follow you into darkness. Anyway.
Sacrifice to save the world.
Alright, anything else I should cover?
Make an attack.
Make who attack?
Do something.
Do some. I can move. What more do you want?
We can probably do questions in the other slides.
Alright, well, then I'll move on to my other slides. Because we don't have that much time. Yeah, like it's a Prezi.